an international team of researchers are focused on the Gulf of Mexico.
There we go.
These are some of their stories, intimate portraits of research, innovation, discovery. I'm Matt Damon. Please join me on a journey marked by unexpected twists and turns.
Almost a decade after the 2010 Deepwater Horizon disaster, a major question still lingers. What exactly is the current state of the Gulf of Mexico? Here are the thoughts of several GoMRI-funded scientists.
What we see in many spills is that eventually the environment recovers, whether it's to the original state or to a slightly altered state, depends on the spill. I don't think we have the full information of what has changed during the Deepwater Horizon.
It's certainly doing better than a lot of people thought it would be doing, but there are still areas that are heavily impacted, like deepwater corals on the seafloor. Those slow-growing communities, they won't recover from this incident for hundreds of years.
What we can do is look at the recovery of beaches and marshes, what's going to completely go back to being in a pristine state and what is going to be in a new state afterwards.
Some sites are coming back, but still there's a significant number of sites that have not returned nearly to the position that we had hoped they would be at this point.
Since 2010, there have been multiple studies on dolphins and dolphin health. In Barataria Bay in particular, where the worst oiling occurred. And we've learned a lot. We learned a great deal about how the spill negatively impacted their health. We documented pulmonary disease, we documented adrenal gland compromise, and we documented reproductive failures. And now we have to keep a close eye on those animals, looking for evidence of recovery. Because the story isn't over, the story's not ending now. It could be decades until we get back to where we were before. And we may never get back to where we were before.
I think one of the things that surprised me the most is that even the microbial component of the food web took 3.5, 4 years before they returned to sort of baseline levels. That's astonishing. That means that there are other environmental regulatory mechanisms that are holding them back from recovering, and we need to understand what those things are, and I don't think we do yet.
One of the issues with the Deepwater Horizon oil spill is that there wasn't a lot of baseline information about a lot of the species that were examined in the Gulf of Mexico prior to the spill. And now, with my research and the research of many others in our research group, we now have this baseline information, so prior to the next spill, we'll be able to better assess impacts.
Thanks to many years of the research, we have better tools to give to response managers. So now we are in much better position to predict many days in advance where the oil would go, which we could not do so accurately back in 2010.
That information is right now being incorporated into large-scale oceanographic models that will enable oil spill responders, for example, to determine if you have an oil spill in a certain area, how it will be dispersed. Where would the oil be located 5 hours after the oil spill? Where it will be located 2 days or 20 days?
I think one of the major things we've learned is how to deliver dispersant from airplanes and how to predict its movement. Injecting dispersant at the wellhead also had not been done routinely for sure.
There are hundreds and hundreds of students that have been trained, or researchers. I mean, I'm a senior person now, but 1,000 people have been supported for 10 years. Hundreds of people have been educated. These are young people.
The people, that's probably the main thing. We've developed that we didn't have before, kind of a collaborative synergy such that a new generation of scientists now realizes the value of collaboration across a range of topics. They might ask questions we never thought to ask. That's probably another one of the really big legacies we'll leave behind.
The GoMRI experience and collaboration has been, I think, crucial because it forces people to get out of their comfort zones and talk about things in a larger context and ask the question, then what? And then what? And then what? So you arrive, hopefully, at a train of experiments and personnel who are capable of performing them well. that in the end answers a much larger question than any one person can.
Simply put, much research remains to be done if we ever hope to prevent adverse environmental and health impacts from occurring if, or more likely when, another major oil disaster happens in the Gulf of Mexico.
Today, the scientific community is working together to push the boundaries of what they've learned about oil spills and what still needs to be discovered.